All right, DC KC here, with REI Remodel. I'm an investor, contractor, consultant here with Ashton.
Hi.
Ashton is a interior designer and realtor. So today we're going to discuss flip and don't flop, how to inspect your property. Before we get started though, we have a REI Remodel checklist that helps you remodel simple. It guides you through the steps through a remodel from beginning to end in the description below. Make sure to check that out. So
Let's get started.
let's get started. All right, is this mic up? Check, check. All right, so first off, when we are talking about inspecting your property, we're not talking about the traditional mortgage where you get a inspector
During escrow.
during escrow to
Yeah.
inspect the property. We're talking mostly off-market cash, hard money type deals, auction deals that you have to inspect yourself, or you might not see it, the interior, until after you purchase it.
Yeah.
These auction type deals. So why should you inspect your own property? So before purchasing, you want to know what kind of money you're going to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
During, you want to know your remodel cost. You also want to be able to get a scope sheet together for your contractors. And I'm very adamant about taking control of your project from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So when you have the inspection, when you inspect it yourself, you know already what you're looking for, or what you're looking to get done, and you're not relying on the contractor to do it. You also are able to have apple to apple type bids. So you give the scope sheet to your contractors, and they bid accordingly, which will all be the same stuff because you know what needs to be done.
I think it's always good to point out that some of the reasons people fail or struggle is because they might not know. So they put everything in the hands of the contractor. And what we're proposing here is that we become in the know. And like you said, take control of the project from the very beginning. And this point would be inspection.
Yeah, definitely. And I just think it's very important to learn that aspect of it. Like you said, it's not going to be easy at the beginning, but you learn as you go.
Yeah.
You can even learn from your contractors. We also will go over how to choose the right contractors. You choose the right contractors, they'll be an asset to you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, go ahead.
So what should you inspect? What should you expect, DC?
So definitely high ticket items. We're talking the plumbing, the HVAC, electrical. We're talking the sewer, the roof, all the way down to the foundation. Those are the number one items you want to check out before establishing your budget, before choosing materials or selecting, to get the whole kitchen. Let's make sure that the roof doesn't need to be replaced. The foundation is good. The HVAC doesn't need to be replaced. There's no leaks in the plumbing.
Yeah.
The sewer is good. There's no roots growing in the sewer.
Yeah.
The electrical panel doesn't need to be replaced.
Yeah. I think so many things add up. And I think as from a female, or just for that excitement of a flip, you have to put your X-ray goggles on and start to look at the issues first before you think about how beautiful it's going to be. Because believe me, by you going through and inspecting and begin to create a list of, oh my gosh, I have to do this, this, and that. Now your budget for finished product is a lot different than you're saying, oh, I'm going to put this high-end countertop and all this and that. And you have to put a lot of money on the inside to bring it to par because you want to make something wonderful when you hand it off or even rent it out.
Absolutely. And so we have those high ticket items. Then we can go to those repair items. Does the fascia need to be repaired? Stucco repairs,
cosmetic things that'll still
irrigation. You know, those are a little deeper than cosmetic, but just items that need repair, right? I mean, even factor in the landscape.
Yes.
You know, we need that curb appeal as well.
Definitely.
But after the high ticket items, after the kind of repair items, then we go to the cosmetics. Now, after we ascertain what is needed and what's left for the budget, then we go into what kind of cosmetic rehab can we do?
Yeah, which is what sells. But believe me, people want the insides done right, everything in a safe and systems working well, as opposed to just a pretty finish.
Yeah. Would you like just nicely painted walls, or would you like a HVAC that works perfectly?
Yeah.
Do you want a porcelain tile, or would you prefer a new roof?
Well, I thought about like painted walls. Like people paint over mold. Like, no, let's deal with the mold issue and not turn it into somebody else's hands. And that's so much safer and wonderful than the paint color that you chose, possibly.
Yes, it is. And then, hey, who's to say that the buyer is going to want, or the renter even wants that paint color? I mean, paint is paint, right? It's just a different color.
So how do we inspect? How do you inspect?
Well, I usually inspect with what I call a QC inspection checklist, and that's part of our REI Remodel system.
Yeah, we
have a checklist where we go down and go over every little bit of the house. So on this checklist, we have in need of repair, the condition, good, bad, needs to be replaced, and we'll just go down the list. So it's a comprehensive checklist that we created just to inspect the properties. And this list helps you get that scope sheet that you can give to the contractors, which we'll talk about scope sheets tomorrow, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for example, I like to start on the exterior of a house. So the first thing I do is look at the foundation, look at the bottom of the house, see if there's any cracks, you see any leaning. You can really tell that in the corners. So you'll see severe cracking in the corners if there's foundation issues normally. Cracks in the stucco, or siding that's warped. Let's look at the fascia. We just recently checked out a property in Las Vegas, and it hasn't been repainted since it was built. So that hot Vegas, that sun just burning on the paint. Yeah. Now it's peeling. There's some wood warping on the. Are you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say fascia. I know it's a cool word, and contractors and experience might know, but fascia is just that trim right below the roof line, which you can just put a quick coat of paint to make it look better. But sometimes water damage, it's peeling, it's rotten. That's another just telltale sign about the quality or repairs needed.
Right. Thanks for translating. Yes. And then also any type of decking, especially a second story deck. Yeah. Check the surface. Check to see if the plywood walk on it a little bit. You can see if it gives a little bit. The plywood might needs to be replaced. Also, any bubbling on the surface, the roofing. You can see a little shimmer sometimes. That means the little granules on the roofing are starting to come off, and you can tell the age of the roof. What else? Gutters hanging, littered with debris. Yeah. That can usually spill over to the fascia to cause water damage. Right. I like to check right away the irrigation. Go turn it on if the water's on, and check to see if the irrigation is working.
Yeah.
Could be an additional expense.
Doors and windows
Doors and
from the
windows,
outside.
you can see that from the outside as well. Um, the dated windows, the fog windows where dual pane windows are the sill is broken. What else? Even little things like exterior fixtures. So
lighting.
yeah, so even on that checklist, okay, I have to replace maybe 9 lights. That can add up. We think light fixtures are cheap, but if there's multiple light fixtures on the exterior, we like to know if they're working, if they need to be replaced. Definitely garage door.
Yeah.
Garage door. Is it a dated old wood garage
The door
that's
and the
warped?
opener, yeah.
And the opener. We check that from the inside.
Yes.
The exterior, though, we can see the condition of it.
And even possibly the driveway,
Yeah, absolutely.
that whatever material. Sometimes there's stones or concrete or things like that. How does that look?
I even look for things like in California, we need the shut-off valve on the gas meter. I look for things like that. A few $100. Hose bibs, make sure they're not leaking. All this stuff adds up, right?
Yeah. And that's just the outside, people.
Yeah, that's just the outside. Yeah. And so this list, it walks you through the whole, every step of the process, so we don't miss a thing. Cool. And that's the mailbox. Mailbox, we need to replace the mailbox.
Yeah.
The numbers on the house. Sometimes you want to go fancy. Those are like $5 a piece or more. Yeah. Pool, of course.
Right.
I can't believe I missed the pool. Look at the pool, see if it's in good condition.
And you mentioned deck, but that could also be patio, pergola, all kinds of things like that. Usually, in the backyards and stuff. But I will say that's what's wonderful about this checklist, which you'll tell them how they can get that, is because you can't sometimes think of everything, but from someone who has done this over and over and over and over, those things are like second nature. But for you, doing your property or doing other things and trying to do this, you want some of the things that you might have forgot, somebody covered them for you, and that checklist does that for you.
Absolutely. And should we go inside or we stay outside? You want to go inside with it?
Hopefully,
we'll just mention a few things on the inside.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just how to inspect your property. So that's what it's about. We're discussing how to inspect your property. So upon entry, of course, we'll go inside.
We'll start right
there. If we see any foundation issues, any issues from the outside, we'll look on the inside as well. So we'll look for that foundation issues. Any cracks in the drywall, you'll see it at the seams, the ceiling, or real bad, you'll just see it just smack in the middle of the drywall, just cracked.
Yeah.
I know in Texas, we came across a lot of foundation issues.
And you could feel them. It was like, like lean back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Then we'll check the plumbing. We'll check to see if the plumbing is galvanized. Is it copper? Let's turn it on. Sometimes that galvanized, especially if it's old, it can, have that sediment come through and really clog your water fixtures. I think that happened to us at a house in Texas as well. So that absolutely. Anything else?
And then it's just room by room too. Everything that you do in that entry, you're taking it room by room, looking at the light fixtures, looking at the walls. In every room, you can look for cracking and things like that. Looking for water damage. So if that roof had some issues from outside, you better look inside, and you might see bubbling or discoloration, even still some kind of cracking. So you're just being a detective and not being naive. So if you see something that's out of the ordinary, it's good to figure it out or ask questions, but you're using your detective eye and this checklist, which is your guide to check things. Because what happens is when you ignore things now, they come back and bite you in the pocketbook later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And if you neglect to take care of some issues, it's going to kill your escrow. They're going to have a list 2 pages long of items that you need to repair. And you're either going to heavily discount it or you're going to have to pay to get it done. And it's going to delay it closing. You can pay. All
kind of other things. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So definitely plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing, foundation, those high ticket items. Take a close look at those, but don't forget the small items because they add up. Even if you replace the switches, count the switches.
Yep.
Right. Switches,
doorknobs,
switch plates,
light fixtures,
doorknobs,
plug plates.
Those little things that you forget sometimes. Yeah. Right. I had a realtor friend of mine who helped remodel a house, and he forgot to put the door stop. He said, "You know what? the house sold already. And he said, "Oh, I forgot to put door stops on it," because he saw my checklist.
Little things.
He
Yeah.
saw my checklist and he said,
Yeah.
I forgot the door stops.
Yeah.
Little things always add up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good stuff.
And we're also going to do walkthroughs. So we are actually already recorded a couple property walkthroughs, and we're going to post them on this channel as well.
Mhm.
Live, not live.
They were
they
recorded live, but
but those will be on this channel as well.
Yeah.
As well as some other things coming.
I think that's good. So we're just going to reiterate how to get this checklist that we've so in-depthly described.
Well, we have for free the REI Remodel checklist. So that checklist is what you will use to guide you through the whole remodel process. Yes.
Oh, cool.
And that's in the description.
The
below.
link is in the description.
The link is in the description below.
Okay, cool.
And please, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. We will check back. We'll check to see if there's any questions and we'll answer them.
Yes.
So that is it. We will be back live tomorrow, 8:30 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
Pacific Standard Time, and we'll be discussing the scope sheet. We'll be discussing taking this quality control checklist and implementing to a scope sheet.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.